What's up, gamers? Patch 9.2 has finally been announced, and it seems like Blizzard has followed their recent trend in doing so with very little notice to the player base. So, as of the time of recording, patch 9.2 will be released in just 8 days on the 22nd and 23rd of February. That's for NA and EU respectively. I've had a lot of people ask me if the game is worth coming back to or getting back into, and how to get ready for patch 9.2 if doing so, coming back from a break or anything like that. So here's all my personal recommendations without all the fluff. Get max renown on all the covenants that you want to play in the patch. So as renown is staying capped at 80 and there will be no further renown grind after that, you might as well get renown 80 out of the way now. It's just less to do in the patch, so you can spend more time enjoying the game and less time grinding. So here's how I would do it. If you have a character that already has level 80 renown on any covenant, you will be able to visit a vendor in Oribos and buy an item which will grant you 40 renown on any other covenant that you play on. And this can be used on any character on any covenant. So before you start leveling up your renowns on all of your alts or all of your other covenants, go to the vendor in Oribos and buy this item. It is called the Broker Mark of Distinction, and it costs 500 gold. Very good bargain. Now, to level your renown past level 40, I would personally recommend a mixture of the following, just to keep your sanity. You can kill the world boss each week for 1 to 3 renown. However, this will become less and less the higher renown you get. You can do callings from your Covenant Sanctum each day, and these will give you 1 or 2 renown. And then to get all the way up to level 78, you'll probably want to grind Torghast. Now, sounds kind of boring, and it is kind of boring, I'll be honest. But there is a slightly more efficient way of doing this, and that is to farm layer 9. Now, the reason you're farming layer 9 is because it can give you renown all the way up to max, and at the same time, it will be giving you soul ash and soul cinders. Now, provided you can handle doing so, you can actually rush through the whole floor and kill the last boss on each of the floors, and essentially skip all of the dawdling around, getting treasures, killing all the mobs to get Phantasma to buy things off the broker vendors. Now, you will have limited powers, so the last boss at the end of the run will be a bit harder. However, the rewards you'll get from the run will actually be the same. So if you can do this, it will save you a lot of time in the long run if the purpose is just grinding renown. Now, while we're on the subject of Torghast, if you are doing this run with the layer 9, you can also grind Soul Ash and Soul Cinders in the process, as I mentioned, and you will probably need some of this to grant any legendaries that you might have missed or not used up to this point. So if there are any legendaries that you might want to craft in the next patch, you'll be wanting to have Soul Ash and Soul Cinders for those. So look into which ones you're going to need and make sure that you do have the memories for them, that is the material, the pattern, so that you can actually craft them at the Rune Carver. Do not craft the Covenant legendaries, as once we reach the max level reputation with the new rep, the Enlightened, we will all be able to buy this legendary belt, which will give you access to your currently specialized covenant and that legendary ability. This is what's going to allow us to equip 2 legendaries at a time. One last thing to mention is that if you are interested in playing alts in the patch, there is a new option on the Bonesmith Hiermer guy in Korthia. Previously in this patch, you could buy a cache of him that could transport Soul Ash over to your alts from your main at a small cost. That is now going to work with Soul Cinders as well. So if you are farming this renown on your main and getting all of this Soul Cinders and Soul Ash in the process, you can actually transport that over to your alts so that you can craft the legendaries on your alts too. The only other things I'd really recommend that you get done on your mains will be to finish Keystone Master if you haven't already done so. The mount that is associated with this achievement, which is to get 2000 Mythic Plus score, will be disappearing at the end of the season. So if you're close to that, or it's something that you want and you like the look of, then make sure you go and do that. Another thing that you could work towards, if you can, and you're a Mythic Plus player or pusher, or you plan on doing Mythic Plus or getting into it in the next patch, is try and complete the dungeons, each dungeon on a plus 20 key in time. This will give you access to the portals, which is basically a fast travel to each dungeon, but it is character specific. So I'd only recommend really doing this on your main for now, just so that in the first weeks of the patch, when you're probably going to be pushing or farming a lot of Mythic Plus for gear, you can just travel quickly between the dungeons. Now, don't worry too much about your gear or item level. The great thing about a new patch is that it acts like a sort of soft reset. It can be an almost clean slate, which brings with it new systems. And there may be some controversy about this, but 9.2 is replacing its old systems, those being the Shards of Domination. Thankfully, you won't need to worry about these at all, so don't even bother going and getting them, don't bother leveling them up, because they will be useless and deactivated everywhere except Korthia and the Maw. Save yourself a headache and be done with this horrible system now. As for item level, the gear that you can acquire even from normal difficulty in the new raid, the Sepulture of the First Ones, will be the same item level as the current Sanctum of Domination mythic item level gear. So you will be able to catch up relatively quick if you play within the first couple of weeks. You'll also be able to farm item level 252 gear in Mythic Plus, which will drop from keys of +8 or higher. That is during the second week when the next season, Season 3, officially begins. So if you have a few friends to play with, or just an iron will, you should be able to get yourself into Mythic Plus and grind through that and catch all the way back up to the equivalent of a Mythic Raider this season. Now, one last recommendation from me is to make gold or level up your professions. So many people are going to be wanting legendaries in the first few weeks that you will be able to make some good gold towards the start of the patch by selling the white items used for the legendaries, or the materials associated with them. Or if you're lazy like me, then you'll want to stockpile a lot of gold because there are going to be plenty of things that you're going to need it for. The legendaries themselves, consumables, and there is a new infinite augment rune, which you can unlock at Exalted with a new reputation, again called the Enlightened, and it will cost you 47,500 gold. And you can never really have too much gold. So those are my tips. Repeat them for any characters or as many characters you might want to play in the patch. But don't burn out, because this can be very time consuming. The stuff I've said in this video is just stuff that I would recommend. We got time now, chill out, play some other games. There won't be too much to do until the patch actually comes. And even then, the first week of the patch is usually pretty chill. The raid's not out, that season hasn't begun yet. You can't really grind the new Mythic Plus. So just take some time off a while, perhaps play some other games. Get busy in real life, you know, you could try out Lost Ark, we got Elden Ring coming out, things like that. So enjoy it, and then you can come back super pumped for the new patch and enjoy it to its fullest potential. You don't want to be going into this new patch resenting WoW because you've just done this horrible grind in the weeks coming up to it, right? Anyway, that's my list. Let me know what you guys thought. Feel free to swing by the Twitch stream, twitch.tv/JustRuss. I'm live there very, very often. Look forward to more stuff coming on this channel, so subscribe for that. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. As always, peace.